Ministry of Environment will discuss. And Mr. Kanabe, Director of Bulk Recycling for Heat, will discuss that. It is estimated that around 10.6 billion in year 2050.
The title Industrial Waste Tracking System in Taiwan, which led by Dr. Harvey Hong. Dr. Hong is advisor Bureau Waste Management, Environmental Protection Administration, the government of Republic of China. Dr. Hong, please.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Harvey Hong. I feel honored to be here to give you this presentation this morning. And I have a particular feeling about this tracking system that I'll be telling you about this morning, because this is really the state of the art that we have today, global-wise. Before I went over to Taiwan and worked as the advisor for the EPA minister in Taiwan, I was in charge of the Toxic Substances Control Program and Occupational Safety and Health Program in Texas. And then I was teaching at the University of Houston. And 3 years ago, I got this opportunity to go over to Taiwan and to help the minister to establish a so-called state-of-the-art tracking system. How do I go back? Okay, first of all, let me give you a slight idea about the background information about Taiwan. Most of you may know where Taiwan is and some information about it, but here I just want to use a minute or two to give you some basic information. First of all, Taiwan, we have about 23 million people on the island, and we produced approximately 8.9 million tons of municipal waste and 18.2 million tons of industrial waste, in which 8%, or we said 1.5 million tons of it is considered as hazardous waste. By the way, here I want to tell you about our classification of our waste in Taiwan is pretty much follow the standards of the United States, and that's one of the reasons why I was so interested in going back there to help them out, because most of the regulations over there in Taiwan and the standards in Taiwan are pretty much taken after the United States standards. Okay, secondly, I'd like to show you what kind of environmental burdens we have in Taiwan. Well, from the chart here, you can see that the population density in Taiwan is 614 per square kilometers. Okay, versus US is only 29, and here in Japan is high, but it's only 336. Okay, the automobiles in Taiwan, we have 472 per square kilometers, and in the US, where they have most of the automobiles, they only have 22, and in Japan we have 226. Motorcycles, we have 155, and US has 22, Japan has 187. Okay, as long as the steel is produced, okay, in Taiwan, they generate 466 tons per square kilometers, and in US it's only 11, in Japan it's 282. The cement production is 488 versus US is 8, and Japan with 250. Ethylene in Taiwan is 44 tons, and the US is 2 versus Japan 19. Okay, from this chart, it's telling you that Taiwan is such a little tiny island, and it's pretty much industrialized, And in a very small island, we have a very high density of population, car, motorcycles, and we are still producing a lot of chemicals, steels, and everything. Okay, so like I said, Taiwan, as a matter of fact, it is the second highest population density in the world after Bangladesh. Okay, and in Taipei, the population density is up to 10,000 per square kilometers. The mountain area in Taiwan accounted for 70% of the total area. On the top of this, in the island, we have about approximately 10,000 factories on the island. In terms of the density, we are looking at 3 factories per square kilometers. Okay, and the domestic economy is from agriculture to industry, and the majority of the enterprises from small or medium size. Okay, the problem we're dealing with about the hazardous waste. I have done this from yesterday's presentation. It seems like this is not only a problem for Taiwan, that the lack of sufficient treatment and disposal facilities. It seems like this would be the problem for many countries we have today. But the experience I got from the U.S., the problem is not as severe in Asia, especially the Southeast Asia. This seems to be a problem. Even yesterday, I think there was a Japanese presenters was talking about the lacking of the treatment of facilities here in Japan as well. Okay, and over there in Taiwan, we have political conflicts from different interest groups, and we have protesting from the communities around the facilities. They do not want to have a facility built near them. Okay, and we do not have enough database on the quantity, quality, and destination of the industrial waste. Okay, so in order to get a close grasp on the hazardous information in Taiwan, first of all, we need to establish a comprehensive and real-time database. In the past, before this system is established, in Taiwan, the way they are tracking their hazardous waste is by using the one we call the manifest system. It's very similar to what we use in the United States. It's from the cradle to grave concept. In other words, when the waste is generated from the generator, and by the time it is ready to be shipped out from the generator to the border to the treatment facilities to the final disposals, they have to fill out a form. We call it manifest. Okay, and that manifest system has to be signed and notified, and leave a copy to the generator, and one goes to the government, and then the handler or the transporter keep one, and then give the copy to the treatment facilities, and then to the final disposal facilities. The turnaround time for the manifest in Taiwan was estimated at approximately 45 days from the time the waste leaving the generators and after it's going through the whole route, okay, entering the final disposal facilities and waiting for the final documents to be signed, and then send it back to the government or any government authorities. And because of that, it will be very difficult for the government to track or to trace where the waste goes. Okay, and we're hoping after establishing this data bank and this tracking system, which I'll be explain to you in at a later time. We hope by doing this, we'll be able to eliminating all the illegal dumpings, and we're also promoting the recycle, reuse, and waste minimization to reach zero growth of industrial waste. Okay, to do this, we have to gather information on industrial waste generation, the treatment and the final disposals, and to provide adequate data on a real-time basis. Okay, the function of this control center is to track the industrial waste and to provide statistical data for policy making. Because from the data which I will be showing you later, the government authorities will be able to get the solid data, not from the estimate or any guessing or anything. Okay, they will be getting the solid data on the waste quantity and the quality, and based on those, the government authorities will be able to generate better regulations, standards to improve the management techniques, and also finally to crack down the illegal dumping, and also to dispose industrial waste properly and to improve the environmental qualities. Okay, the management scheme of the Industrial Waste Control Center is to establish the unified electronic permitting system and the promotion of the waste minimization, waste exchange, and reuse. We do also have a waste exchange center which is on the internet. Now we are integrating those two systems together. The third is to plan of a temporary storage site and the final disposal site. Without enough facilities for storing or treating the waste, any management would be will be useless. Okay, and also the establishment of the baseline and on-site technical assistance. This I'll be explained to you at a later time. The baseline, what we're talking about is to find out the baseline of any generators. How much waste do they generate, and what kind of waste do they generated. If we do have the baseline, we can always use they can also see it as well. And as soon as the generator they reported their waste on the database, everybody can see it. The holder can come in, okay, and sign in at the time when they pick up the waste. Okay, and when the waste goes to the treatment facility, the treatment facility can also sign in with the manifest on the internet, not on any paper at all. Okay, and also the same thing happened to the final disposal site. Okay, and what happened here? Everybody, the government authorities, local government authorities, generators, hauler, treatment facilities, disposal facilities, they can see their reporting, the manifest, the electronic manifest on the internet at the same time, on a real-time basis. Okay, and also on the top of this, what we're doing right now is try to use the GPS, the global position system on the transporting vehicles, and these transporting vehicles, as they move from place to place, the system will transmit all the database to our control center, and that will match to what they have reported, and we'll find out if they are reported according to. Okay, and this is what happened there in our system. We started from January of 1999. Okay, and as you can see, the red dot here shows representing the hazardous waste, while the other one representing the total waste. This is not the same scale. As you can see, this is the total waste, and over here to our right-hand side is the hazardous waste. It's about 10 times more for the total waste than the hazardous waste. But you can see the patterns pretty much follow the total waste and hazardous waste, and it's growing constantly from the date we started this system. Okay, I know the time is up, so I have to be quick. The conclusion and recommendation is we're trying to effectively monitor, audit, and inspect and track the waste-related activities, and we'll try to target large facilities. Okay, And we're using the system to unify all the permitting system and also the waste exchange center, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, and we're also to utilize the data in planning, or like I said, with this solid data, the government will have a better idea what they should plan on their waste management. Okay, and then to enhance the baseline for every generators. And also we can easily spot any abnormal operations. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm interested in the fact that you have a real-time database, because I have been trying to convince the EPA in my home state to have one for 15 years. I wonder if I could ask you a question about the quality of the data that you get.
The quality of what?
The quality of the data entered into your database. Now, to give you one story from my experience, we are now trying to go through all the data from our tracking system to identify priority waste streams to minimise. But when we actually look at the data that comes in, much of it does not make sense. For example, we identified a large amount of perchlorate waste, and we thought, we don't generate perchlorate waste. And when we actually went back to the industry and asked what it was, it turned out to be aluminium dust, nothing like perchlorate waste. Much of our data, in fact, is entered by truck drivers who don't know what they're doing. I assume that because you have a computer system, that more likely technical people are here of the data that you get and your ability to plan from that.
Thank you. That's a very excellent question. As a matter of fact, the quality of the computer, it takes a lot of time. But with this, what you can do is by comparing the data from one company, you can use the computer to compare this company's data to its own historical data. You can find any abnormal reporting. Okay, that's one thing. Secondly, you can even do even better is to compare this company's company to the same industry patent company. You know, on their patents, on their reporting patent, if they produce the same kind of products and they do not come up with the same kind of waste, then that's very suspicious. With the computer, you can easily point that one out. Okay, and that's the advantage that I can see. Okay, any?
Only one question. It's a good concept. Your approach is really good. You said the zero industrial waste growth. How it is comparable with the real industrial growth? Your aim is to have zero waste growth, but how it is comparable with the real industrial growth? How the industrial percentage is growing? Whether it is also same level, or its industrial growth is more and waste growth is zero?
Okay. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know how much time I have, but when I was teaching at the University of Houston, okay, I present this data to our faculties there in the university. And one professor raised his hand and said, "Well, Dr. Hong," one more minute, okay? Okay, he said, "Wow, you will be a millionaire in no time." I said, "Why?" He said, "With this system, you can see how easily and how well the company is managing its waste." And I know you probably heard that from our old sayings that by analyzing somebody's waste, you can know their life patterns and everything. And the same thing same thing applies to the company as well. If you know how much waste they produce compared to how much products they have, you can see easily how well they're managing their company. Okay, and from there you can buy the stocks. Okay, well that's just a joke. But as a matter of fact, by comparing their waste generated with their products, you can see which company has a better technology and which company has a better management. And from there, the government authorities can provide assistance, consultation assistance to the company which is not doing too well. And by doing that, you'll be able to effectively manage the waste and also to help them using the most advanced technology to reduce the waste. The zero growth is our goal. Okay, I don't mean we can reach it in very soon. But as a matter of fact, this system, I think we got a very well feedback from many other countries, Singapore, Australia, US, Japan, and there's many other countries. They came to my office and I took them to see this system. So everybody here, if you're interested in seeing this system, you're welcome to come to Taiwan, and I'll be glad to show it to you. Thank you so much.